Shut up. So basically, yeah, and I told him about it. It was really good, and Dom was in the car, and she was, had a tear and whatnot.
That's because she's pregnant.
And Oliver was like, man, that's amazing. Like, just tell them that. You say it, and it'll be amazing. But I put all my energy into that, and now it's gone. Right? It's all gone. So I have to start again, which is okay. Basically, I'll start off by saying this. When we went in the last week, we went to do a couple of film shoots and for the promotional videos. And I gave the guy that looks after our videos, I gave him the script of what we're doing and what's happening in 2012. And he was looking at it and whatnot, editing it, and this, and might sound better if we do this, if we do that. And he came to a particular section of what was written there. And I looked at it and I said, that's not what I wrote. And he said, oh, well, what did you write? I said, I can't remember, but that's not what I wrote. So he went and he got my other notes out, and I read it, and I was like, right, that's what I wrote. And he said, oh, I thought I'd adjusted a little bit. And I said, why is that? He said, well, we want to make sure that, what we tell people we're doing is realistic. Right? And I thought to myself, wow, and a couple of other people I've spoken to, just here and there, and I said, look, this is what we're doing, and they're like, that's good. We just got to be sure that we can actually do that. And it surprises me, right? It really surprises me that I think that in this day and age that people, for whatever reason, it almost feels like I just got the sense from particularly the person that was doing the video for us, it was almost like he was too scared to say that. It's like, what if it doesn't happen? What if it doesn't become a reality? He didn't say that, but the way he was talking to me was like that. It was just like, we just want to tone it down a little bit, just make it realistic, make it acceptable. But unfortunately and fortunately, the stuff that we're dreaming about and the stuff that we're doing for that emotion, we'd like to do with that emotion, is ridiculously big, and it is ridiculously crazy. However, I believe that it is really, really achievable. I come from maybe not such a fortunate background. I left home when I was 15, 20 bucks and a backpack, and I left. Things were very bad at home. And since then, to this day, I've seen miracles happen. And I've seen them in my own life. So when it comes to dreaming, and when it comes to accomplishing what's impossible, I've already done it so many times in my life. The fact that I'd be speaking to you guys today is impossible. Okay? It shouldn't have ever happened. Nobody would ever have put money on me, and here I am today. And so I feel that that's my reference, that's my groundwork to come here. That sort of puts me in a position where I can say to you, what I'm about to say to you, we will do. Right? Because I've done bigger things already in my life. Not necessarily on the world scale or in something that people can see, or nobody would ever hear of the stuff that I've conquered. But I know being here today should never, ever, ever, ever happen. Yeah. I often say to Domi and my close friends, I say, there was a point in my life where I used to be sitting in front of the petrol station, right, on the gutter, about 12:30 a.m. and waiting for my sensory money to come through. And I probably hadn't eaten for about 2 or 3 days. And the reason was because all my Centrelink money went on alcohol and other substances that I don't get through. And waiting, and then wait, check again 1 o'clock, check again 1:30, check again 2 o'clock, Central in Miami come through. Sausage roll, chocolate mousse, and some chips. That was like my highlight. And if anybody had ever told me at that point that one day you'll be leading, directing the school of the 5-time world salsa champions, there's no way I would have believed it. Right? I don't think anyone would have ever looked at that guy and said, yeah, he's going to do something later. So, having said that, I just want to sort of share that with you guys, so that I honestly believe that what we're about to embark on is easy. I look at it as easy. When I told Oliver, he was like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, it's easy. It's easy, right? I've done bigger shit than this. This is a laugh. This is a joke. And so having said that, a little bit of background on Oliver Pineda and how he sort of come into my life. During those difficult times, it's often very hard to keep, it was for me very hard to keep hope. But I loved Latin dance. I used to go out, and La Campana was the place back in the days and whatnot.
Yeah, we all did that.
I was the best, right? And it was funny that I was there with an underage ID, and it was like 16 or something. And there was another guy that was also underage. And he was in the band, this skinny guy with like hair.
You did?
Right, no, but I never knew him. I never knew him. I used to dance and I knew the band that was there on every Saturday night, and there was this guy. And then one day, later on, years later, somebody said, do you remember that guy that used to play in the band? I said, yeah, I remember, the skinny one. Because, that's what I said. And he said, he became world champion. I said, what do you mean? He said, he's the champion of the world. What, in salsa? I said, yeah. And ever since then, I tell you, how I used to relax, how I used to give myself motivation, how I used to remind myself that there was a light at the end of the tunnel, is I would watch this guy on YouTube. Never knew him.
Thanks, mate.
It's not meant to be that way. It's not meant to be that way. I didn't aspire to.
Sorry, I don't
you know Luda, right? You're a guy, so you know. I was watching how he danced, and I wished, like a lot of people, I wish I could dance like that. I wish I could, And he was overseas, and he was doing this, and he was doing all sorts of things, and conquering the world, and then he took it 5 times with Luda. And amazing. I used to just watch and watch and watch. And I'd sit there on YouTube for hours watching this guy. I'd finish and I'd be like, okay, gotta keep going. And my aspiration was not to become a dancer or to better learn motion or anything like that. It was just, when I watched him dance, I thought, there's life out there. There's people doing good things. There's people experiencing this. There is hope, right? And that's how Oliver Pineda came into my life, and that's sort of what he represents to me. It's just an inspiration and helping through those times. Now, having said that, there's probably, I think we're looking at putting together a documentary in January for next year. Just have a bit more background on that motion, its foundations, how it's begun, how sort of I've come into the play and everything. Then that's for everyone to watch. So I'll get into, you'll learn a bit more about how I came into that emotion through that. But if I start, we'll do it for 2 hours and then we'll take the time. So now, to me, just starting off, I just want to say that this to me is a fantastic opportunity to, one, say thanks to Ollie for the part that he played in my life without actually knowing me, right? Not that I knew him. And it's a pleasure to work for him, a pleasure to achieve, I never thought that I'd end up being, best mates with this guy that I used to watch on YouTube, right? So that's a blessing in itself. but it's also my opportunity to, I suppose, share what I feel Oliver and Luna can provide to people in general, the general public. They've already accomplished a lot throughout the world. They've inspired a lot of dancers. There's, these guys in Australia, are not that well known unless it's within our community, but overseas they're huge. They're massive, right? They're gods. They're the best. If anyone knows salsa, if anyone has ever heard of it, you can't go past Oliver and Luna. They've done for salsa what Einstein and Elvis and all of that. Their name, I'm sure, will live on in history. So the purpose of this is for me to accomplish what I feel Latin immersion should be, what I feel makes sense that Latin immersion should be. When I came in, it's no secret that Latin immersion was in a lot of trouble, business-wise and whatnot. It's had a lot of trouble for about 8 years. That's okay, all right? Because Oliver's forte is not business. It's not running an office. It's not that sort of stuff, and that's okay. And I sort of want to stress that. That's okay, because we all have our strengths and whatnot. And now, throughout the time, when I see Ollie, he's someone with an immense amount of talent. Absolutely amount. He's been touched by the hand of God, and he's just brilliant. I don't know anyone else in the world that can do what he does and whatnot. And I think that's his calling in life. To dance, to grow that, to continue to grow that, and to show it to the world. And what I want to do is to, like I said again, is to get that out there.
Right.
So, what we're going to do now in 2012 is this. Number one, where should I start?
The first one.
The next one.